Why is this?
All right, I forgot my sunglasses. First of all, see, I'm intelligent now. We must behave very well, people. I have my regular glasses. Everybody, we must behave. We must study, and we must act like this. Shout out to this time. Okay, so welcome to another episode of I forgot the name of our show. Oh, Formula One news, which is always with a hint of laughter. Okay, so let's jump.
And you just said it.
Yeah, you said it. Let's jump straight into it. We all knew that this is some bullshit. A couple of days ago, because of the news cycle, they want people to watch TV and click. They said rumors are that if they don't do well in Imola, they're going to fire Horner. First of all, I'll start with you, Johnny. Even though we talked about that, does that even sound reasonable that if they didn't do well this weekend, that they would just fire Horner? Does that even sound reasonable? It was a rumor. They said his job may be on the line if they don't do well in this one race. What do you think about that?
I think it's just one kind of weird rumor that they think that is going to make sense. I mean, doesn't really. I mean, from nowhere, it's like it just came out from nowhere. Like what?
Yeah.
His job is
and as usual, they say sources say source. And it was I think it was released in Italy. Sources say.
So what I really think just just trying to just get us excited and this and that, and then make us make a video,
Yes, and what I think is that because this guy stepped down, Oaks stepped down from Alpine the same day, and then you also have Verstappen not interested. The rumors that Verstappen could take a year off, or he's getting frustrated. So I think people just put all those together and just came up with a theory that this guy is going to leave. I do think that last year his job was on the line during that sex scandal, not the sex scandal, but during the scandal where he was harassing someone. But he had the supporting of 50% of the group. And I do think that at the end of the year, this year, if they're not doing well, not that he'll get fired, but there'll be pressure. But I think it's going to be difficult for them to get rid of this guy because he built this team from when they bought it from Jaguar, and he's really the heart behind the team. And actually, he does well. He goes to bat for Verstappen. He always challenges McLaren. He always stands up for his drivers. He even stood up for Verstappen when Verstappen shouldn't have won. That year, he beat Hamilton controversially in 2021. So even though Horner has messed up this team with his scandals and maybe lost a lot of engineers, he's still kind of like what Kunle says. It's like Arteta. If you lose him, it's even going to be worse. What do you think, Kunle?
Yeah, well, I mean, all this drama going on at Red Bull, they're having struggles. I was more interested in looking at the results of practice one. I thought we were going to discuss
We'll talk about that afterwards, but this is for the news heading. We'll talk about practice one.
Yeah, Red Bull seems to be the team of drama and stories and, sexual issues with assaults and then issues between drivers. They're always having these kind of things that you can put in a Netflix movie show. Mm-hmm. It hasn't escaped my mind that teams like McLaren and Mercedes don't really have the same kind of drama. I mean, they've had drama, but it tends to be more to do with what they're doing technically for technical reasons. But this, I don't know whether this hurts Red Bull or whether it maintains an interest. They say there's no such thing as bad publicity. But then, you now focus on the drama of Red Bull and their driver number one. And it all does create a pretty picture because I guess without that, you just have Verstappen, and Verstappen has no drama personally himself. So I guess you're going to make something interesting for Red Bull to talk about. Otherwise,
yeah, I think so.
It'll be like watching a paint dry.
I think so. And Kunle, last time I checked, the Red Bull car is Verstappen's coming third in races. The car is doing well. Tsunoda's not doing too badly. And so they say, oh, the team is falling apart. No, the team hasn't fallen apart. It's just that McLaren is just too good for anybody. So there's an over-exaggeration about the team because they've improved greatly from last year when they started having problems. And it seems like they fixed a lot of the problems. Verstappen has won three qualifiers this year. He's won one race. And the only other person to win a race is either Piastri or Norris. So I don't see how you're going to fire somebody just because they're coming third in the drivers and maybe I think they're coming third or they're coming fourth in the constructors. That's no grounds for getting rid of a. So I just think, like you said, it's just like something for the news cycle and everything. But I do think that if Verstappen comes fourth or fifth this year and he sees that there's no hope for next year, he may leave the team. And if that happens, then I think Horner's job will be in trouble. What do you think, Johnny?
Yeah, well, I'd say, like you said, if Red Bull doesn't do well, then he'll probably do. He's probably going to be his job is going to be in trouble because they're actually doing quite well right now. I mean, there's actually no reason. Even there's no reason for any. I mean, from outside, there's no reason for any for his job
Yeah.
to be in trouble.
Yep. And if there's go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's all just as
Yeah.
Jackson
Yeah.
will go.
I think, and if there's internal fraction, it doesn't matter. It's just like if all of us are arguing, but we have the number one show on TV. It doesn't matter that we hate each other behind the scenes. What matters is success. But they need to watch out though because they've been making a lot of mistakes with pit stops and things like that. So I think they need to get their race control under control.
Or maybe they are trying to set him up,
Yeah. Yeah, they may be trying to set up Horner. It's going to be difficult to beat Horner because he has 51% of. Now he doesn't have 51% of the shares, but the tie group that has 51% backs him. And I think when they said this before, Red Bull is not really a Formula One team. It's a big business. They make a lot of money. So long as they're making profits, Horner's not going to go anywhere, even if they're losing. What do you think, Kunle?
Yeah. Yeah. Also,
they make money from their drinks. They make money from their extreme sports and from other formula racing also. So as long as they're making money, I don't think it's going to get kicked out. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, you don't kick out your best performers. You don't kick out Horner. You don't kick out Verstappen either. That would just be insane. I think they should be grateful to keep them. It's not a question of them being thrown out. It's a question of can Red Bull perform enough to keep them? Because if they leave, they're going to go straight to their rivals. It's not just what they lose, it's what their rivals gain. Because
Mercedes and Aston Martin.
Verstappen's ability and a racer of Horner's ability, you go and put them in, go and give them to Mercedes or McLaren, and you're in trouble as a Red Bull. It's not, you're in double trouble, double jeopardy. And there's just tiny margin between first and 20th. There's barely a couple of seconds in it, and then that takes you over the scale. That could even bring, if they went to a smaller team like Aston Martin or Williams, they could now elevate them into a different level. So no, they should. I do think that they're just trying to entertain. I think that Red Bull have this. They're trying to have this interest in entertaining. I noticed that's why they even have a black man in their pit crew. I think last season.
Oh yeah, the one with the dreads.
They also have diversity. They're trying to
just black man.
Not only a black man with dreads.
Yeah,
they're just trying to be entertaining. Honda. When you look at Honda and Toyota, Honda is actually the fun part of motoring in Japan. The owner of Honda was a racer. He was more, so they want to show some extravagance in their Formula One team and some.
I think Honda will be leaving them next year. I'm not sure, which is sad. They're losing a lot of people to money, and to be honest with you, they make sense. Engineering, they're doing very well. It's only because of this tire thing that nobody knows. They're doing well with their setups from race to race, and their cars become more stable. So, like you said, and Honda is fun. That whole team is fun. So Red Bull is fun. Even Horner is fun. He does a few things that are controversial. Of course, Helmut Marko is fun too. Helmut Marko said, Lando Norris is mentally ill. He must just retire. So yes, you guys are fun. So thank God we have Red Bull, and it's gonna be interesting to see what they do this weekend. So we can switch to free practice. What were your thoughts on free practice, Kunle? Yeah, free practice.
Yeah, I actually missed the free practice, but I did get to have a look at the results. And from what I'm seeing in the results, it looks like McLaren are dominating again as usual.
Yeah, early.
But this is just practice one, mind you. I mean, let's not make too much of a deal out of anything. I mean, Colapinto finishes well down. I mean, this is his first time attempt to even practice with the car. So you can't expect even practice 3. It's when the qualifiers come in that you now know. Because then it's starting to matter what you do. Here, they're just trying to pitch their wickets and see what's going on. But from what I can see, it does look like McLaren and Mercedes are quite fast. It does look like Red Bull are up there. And, I don't know. The other cars, I mean, I don't trust Sainz at the Alpine. I don't trust the Alpine and the Williams just because they're in the top 8 or so. I don't trust what they're going to do. Let's still see what happens later on. I'm curious to see how Colapinto is going to fare, and the other driver, Bortoleto.
Well, Colapinto he's already done warning. He said, "Oh boy, you guys you have to give me 7 or 8 races before I'm good. That's what he's telling them, that he has to acclimatize. So he's admitting, and he's going to drive carefully and try to he's going to learn how to become used to the car rather than pushing it and then push it into the wall. As usual, I think Verstappen came P6, but that doesn't matter because we all know that Verstappen starts off with a base setting in free practice and plays around with the car and gives them feedback. By the time you get to free practice 3 and Q1, you'll see Verstappen putting on the heat. One thing to note before we go to you, Mr. Johnny, is that Norris bailed out of a lap again, out of one of today's laps for pure pace. He bailed out of it. And so he bailed out of it, but he was only 0.003 of a second behind Piastri. But that's the point. When it starts getting to pushing for speed, he bails out, especially on high-speed tracks, because he's not comfortable with that car. What are your thoughts, Mr. Johnny? Yeah. Mr. Johnny, can you hear me? Well, I think is he okay?
I'm not sure. I was going to say
free practice 1. All of them. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so free practice 1. They were just getting their boots wet, the tires warmed up and stuff. So McLaren, they're looking very good, 1 and 2. I saw Albon from Williams. He was in 3rd place. And I think Russell was 4th. And then Hamilton came 5th. But I'm sure that one is just Shakara for now, because that's where he was looking good now, because everybody's not going their fastest yet. I'm sure he'll get back. We'll see. I'm hoping that he'll look good this Imola, And
I think he's going to struggle a little bit because he does better on slow speed tracks where you can rely on the rear end. The rear end is going to be very unstable, especially because this is high speed. But I think he'll do okay. As usual, I think he's going to come 6th or 7th. I think we all agree Leclerc may, if he's in form, he may come top 4. So we'll see what happens. Okay.
Yeah.
But I just want to stress the point that even in free practice, Norris tried to push for a fast lap at the end, and he bailed out again. And he has a history of doing this. And I think he's struggling on high-speed tracks. He's faster than Piastri, but he's having more problems pushing this car to the limit. I think Piastri is driving more carefully and driving within his limits, but I think Norris is trying to push it the way Verstappen pushes it, but he can't handle it. What are your thoughts on that, Kunle? Yeah.
Well, I was actually, when you're talking about Verstappen, yes, I think the Red Bull is going to upstage Norris again. I think that Verstappen especially is going to upstage him, and he's going to catch him out. These mistakes that Norris is making in practice 1, if he carries him into practice 3 and into the qualifiers, I think he's going to get upstaged for pole by Piastri and by Verstappen.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen.
Yes. So I anything can happen. I'm still going to be interested in seeing practice 2. Johnny, are you going to be around for watching practice 2 here? Because I know you are supposed to have been here earlier.
Yeah, we got to get out of here so he can catch Oroshoki. All right. Let's get out of here. Yeah. Okay, let's talk, Mr. Johnny. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm actually very excited for free practice 2. See how and we can really see what's going on a bit, And then I'm excited for what's his name, because I want to see whether this new this new engineer that's come to Ferrari, what he can do, the little he can do.
Watch out for Ferrari. I just realized Hamilton was quite quick. Watch out for them.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So I think Ferrari might still give us a nice surprise.
Yeah. What time is free practice today?
3:45.
Okay, yeah, so I'll let you get out of here so you can get there on time, Mr. Johnny.
Okay. Cool. All right then.
Okay. Have a good one, guys. Thank you. Okay.
All right. Good show, guys.
Yeah. Okay.